All this week we'll get a chance to hear from some of the chairs of this year's exciting streams. First up, I'm here with Jonathan Shaw, chair of the Public Health and Epidemiology stream. Jonathan, thank you so much for being with us.
It's a pleasure.
So first of all, tell us what's new in epidemiology. What has new data from the last 2 years told us about the causes of the various types of diabetes, and how is that reflected by the stream?
Yeah, well, we're getting a lot more interest now in some of the more novel causes, things that we haven't explored before. Things like environmental issues, things like environmental toxins, a whole range of different environmental issues that might impact on both type 1 diabetes and on type 2 diabetes, and across a range of settings in developed countries and developing countries. And all of these things are going to be part of the program. Some of them lectures given by experts in the area, and some of them by people presenting new data at this conference.
Let's look at some of the social issues. What do we know about the way that these influence the development of diabetes right around the world?
Well, the social issues are a little bit different in different parts of the world. We see generally in rich and developed countries that the burden of diabetes lies more commonly in the lower socioeconomic groups. In some developing countries we see it more of a rich person's disease, but that is changing. And in fact diabetes is now becoming a really big problem amongst all groups across the developing world.
Finally, from a public health stance, you talked a little bit about diabetes in the developed and the developing world. How are both of those spheres able to tackle the increasing prevalence of diabetes?
Yeah, well, this is a real problem. And we've got sessions that are looking at screening for diabetes, how you might screen in different settings, simple things that can be done to identify people at high risk of type 2 diabetes. We've got sessions looking at how you translate what we know from research into real practice in real settings in different parts of the world. And we've also got an interesting session on how we in different parts of the world pay for the provision of care. Drugs are expensive. New drugs are very expensive. They'll often bring with them real advantages, and how different agencies, both government, payers and patients and doctors cope with that and understand how to bring those into practice.
So how much more of a challenge is it for the developing world as opposed to the developed?
Well, obviously the cost issues are so much more of a challenge for the developing world. The issues are often different. It depends where you are. The developing world isn't just one place. Issues are different in China, say, than they are in sub-Saharan Africa, and we will be looking at those different issues and trying to understand how you do things in very limited, resource-limited areas, how you do it in places where you've got large populations with somewhat limited resources, and how it plays out in wealthier countries as well.
Jonathan, great to have your insights on this. Thank you very much.
Good to be with you.